podcast by Friends for Friends. Today I'm here with Adam
Hello.
and Margot.
Hi.
How you guys doing?
Pretty good.
Good.
Yeah.
It'd be really funny if one of these times were like, awful.
Actually,
You know what?
Just like, hush.
funny you should ask.
When we talked about this on the last episode, I never remember what's recorded and what's not, but it'd be like, just fine.
Yeah, we did talk about that on the last episode.
Oh, yeah.
And now Ryan knows the code.
I don't understand it still. Fine means you are fine. Not
No,
like
fine means
means,
bad.
"Ooh,
Fine.
I'm not doing great."
Fine means
English words.
I'm alive. I'm here. I'm living day to day. Things could be a hell of a lot better.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So anyway, I hope we're all better than fine. We did just talk for like an hour.
I think 2 hours.
Yeah.
About all the media hot takes, criticisms, complex analysis that you know and love us for. So if you came for that, don't worry. We won't get it because we already did it and it wasn't recorded.
Oops. It could have been 2 whole episodes.
If you particularly were interested in what we thought about the Avatar live action show, we talked about it for probably an hour and a half. So
Yep.
we don't need to rehash it for you guys.
Sorry. Maybe we'll do another thing at some point, but not today.
We probably should. Also,
yeah.
Ryan hasn't watched it, so
yeah.
That's all right.
I don't think we convinced him.
No, I don't think so.
There's so many other shows I need to watch, like rewatching Andor for a third time.
First of all, anything updates, life thing crazy that anyone wants to talk about?
I went up to Minneapolis to visit a friend, and kind of the thing you are required to do if you go to Minneapolis, go to Mall of America, which I did.
Oh, yeah.
And so people always talk about Mall of America and very dismissively of like, it's just a massive mall. And that's true, but there is an entire theme park inside of it, which I was aware of, but not the extent. Like I knew there were rides and stuff, but genuinely it's like a mini Six Flags or Disney inside the mall.
This is crazy because
Nickelodeon themed too.
Yeah, it's all Nickelodeon themed. So there was an Avatar ride.
Did you go on it?
I did not go on any of the rides.
Oh,
they're a little expensive.
Okay.
Yeah, a little expensive. One of the people with us really did not like roller coasters, and it was like, is it really worth it? Because it is like it's inside, so it's scaled down. Some of the rides look pretty fun, but probably be a lot more fun if you were not a 25-year-old 6'2" adult.
Is that not like crazy loud? Like I feel like if it were indoor, it would be really echoey.
Not too bad. The rides are also like aren't that extreme.
Okay.
No, I mean,
is there screaming?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the same screaming that you get because there's a lot of kids around.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think any particularly loud stuff.
I
don't know. I was just super impressed by how much they had fit in there.
It's a giant mall.
It is.
Through and through East Coaster here. Did not know that. Truly to me, I was like, big mall. Why is it there?
Because that's what I think
the perspective over on the East Coast.
Yeah.
There's the one in New York that has the Mr. Beast burger, also has an amusement park inside of it.
I don't know that one personally. I was thinking
it's in New Jersey.
Brochure.
That's
not
fact
New York.
about the Mall of America. I'm banned from the TGI Fridays there.
That's right.
Throwback. Also, did the Rainforest Cafe there close?
I don't know. It might have. Rainforest Cafe isn't doing too hot. Like, there's none in Chicago left anymore.
You'd think those videos would have boosted something.
I mean,
because I wanted to go and then I didn't see a sign for it.
The food was okay.
The experience. It's not always about the food.
The experience also isn't that great because half the animatronics don't work, and every 15 minutes you're enjoying your food and they just hear like monkeys yelling. It's fun for the first 2 times.
That's what I want.
The ambiance.
The ambiance. The thunderstorms, the monkeys. That's what I'm looking for in a dining experience.
I do think we should have more like themed restaurants. I think animatronics do belong in restaurants, and I'm a little bummed at the lack of them, personally.
Yeah, give me some restaurants going on. I want like a goofy 50s sci-fi themed
Yeah,
thing where all the employees are in like funky little outfits and all the menu items have weird names and they're like
yeah.
weird shapes. I want all that.
I
Sounds
think
like
that'd be
Steak
great.
and Shake.
Honestly, kind of.
But
The
without the
not
rampant
that good.
crime.
Yeah, I can't tell you the amount of times
The
I wanted
amount
to
of
leave a Steak and
fights that
Shake.
I think we went to Steak and Shake not frequently, but like a
Enough.
few times.
Yeah.
And I feel like there was a fight every single time we went. And we
Yeah.
There
didn't
was
even go
one
at
time,
crazy hours. It was like
like a lot.
normal, like
Yeah,
lunch or dinner. Like a couple times we did go at like 2 a.m., but usually it was like normal meal times. And there
Yeah.
were still fights and the police had to be called.
Definitely.
it was wild. There was
Not
one
the
time,
same Steak and Shake either. We'd go to
no,
different ones
different.
because there were
Yeah.
multiple. I
There were
know.
like 3.
Mhm.
There was one time, I'm sure I've told this story, so sorry if anyone's sick of it. But I just still think it's the most wild thing of like, uh, a few of us went after security. So we went at like 4 a.m. First mistake, I understand. But we were wanting milkshakes. What are you gonna do?
Exactly.
So we went to Steak and Shake. We got water. Because the waitress was very clearly busy because there was a very rowdy table. So we hadn't ordered anything yet. That's important because we did leave. But like, um, at some point, she like picks up a $20 bill that one of them had dropped and was like, "Hey, you dropped this. This is yours. Here you go." And then the guy like fully pulled out a gun on her.
Oh my God.
And he was like, "I'm gonna smoke you," and we were like, "We're
Oh
leaving."
my God.
And she's like yelling in his face right back at him, like she's not taking it. Which props to her. I guess this happens a lot at Steak and Shake.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we
Oh
were like,
my
oh, we're done. We're not gonna get our milkshakes tonight. Kind of a bummer, but tonight's not the night. So we leave. We start driving away. But as we're leaving the parking lot, the police pull up and they stop us and they're like, "Were you a part of that?" And we were like, "Absolutely not." But I had friend of the pod, Esther, in the car with me, and she's not good under pressure in that she started giggling. And we were all like, "Esther, if the police are questioning us, you cannot giggle. You
That's
just
so
can't
bad.
do it."
From the cop's perspective, they're called to a scene of a crime. A gun is involved. They pull over a group of a group of college kids out at 4 a.m. and they're giggling.
Like leaving the crime, like,
What do
oh
they
my
think?
god.
That's so bad.
Yeah.
They let us go. But they were like, okay, get out of here. And we went back to school.
Yeah. I don't think Steak and Shake is doing too hot. Like,
No, I know a lot of their stuff closed during COVID.
yeah, their food just also is like okay. I liked their chili, which you
I could
guys.
only ever get like grilled cheese, and their fries suck.
Their fries are
Sorry.
really bad.
Yeah.
I
Did
don't
you
even
know
like them.
though? For $10,000, you can become a part-time owner of a Steak and Shake. I keep getting like ads for it on
I've seen that.
LinkedIn. Or not LinkedIn, maybe on LinkedIn too, but on Instagram too. I've been seeing them.
I feel like that's like such
It's not a
weird
great
thing.
investment, I don't think.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
So that
shakes
kind
are
of
really
ruined
good.
Steak and Shake for me. The shakes are fine.
The shakes are fine. They're adequate.
Yeah,
But when they're kind of the name of your place, maybe they should be a bit more than adequate.
a little better. I've never had the steaks.
They're okay.
I cannot
can't.
imagine they're any good.
Um,
Steak seems like something that's really only good at like an upscale restaurant.
And it's not even steaks, it's hamburgers. Hamburger steak.
well, what a big sham.
Well, they don't have like any. Well,
What a big closing.
hamburgers are technically steak. Technically,
Okay.
no one calls it that. It's hamburgers are hamburgers. So, and like
Is
other
it just?
countries, they call it like hamburger steak.
Oh, that's wild.
Like
I didn't know
Japan
that.
does that.
Yeah, because to me, like steak is like a fancy thing. Curious. I don't know.
I mean, if
I
you're
guess
really
it does all
curious,
the same thing.
it is from the same thing. It's just that like steak is more expensive.
Hmm.
And if you really want to get into it, like the hamburger part of the cow, there's a ton of that, so it's cheaper. and the steak
Sure.
part there's not as much. So.
Oh, okay. I see. That makes sense. And I know there's like different types. Like T-bone is a thing.
Yeah, it's all different cuts of the meat.
Ribeye.
Yeah. Flank. Yeah. So I don't know. My family, we are Midwestern, so we just buy a cow, and that's where we get our meat from.
Sure. Do you have like a freezer for it?
Yeah, we have a freezer in our garage, and
I've
so
heard
we
of
just
those.
like have all that, and so it's sort of fun too, because like there's all like they use every part of the cow, so like there's
That's
like
good.
bone marrow, and it's like, well, what do you make with that?
Broth.
You can make like broths and stews, and it's very good.
Yeah.
But
I think that's like the most ethical way to do it, hands down.
It's cheaper and it's better.
Well, there you go. Win, win, win.
Best of all worlds.
It's like $100, and it's worth
Sure.
like $400.
But that's like for a long
worth
time.
of meat. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not as processed, so it tastes better. It's very nice.
Also good. Yeah. You're probably, I assume, supporting like local farmers with that.
Yeah.
Maybe not always. I don't know. But yeah, love that. That's great. People should be better about how to eat meat. I don't know. I feel like I have no issue with people eating meat until they do it like in a mean way.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, that's rude. Why are you doing that? Like those like the chicken ones that are like, well, it's technically free range if you have like a 1 foot by 1 foot cage. Like if they can like turn around in it, they're like free range. And
you
I'm
know
like,
what I don't understand? Free range eggs.
Yeah.
What's the point?
I don't know. I think
they're more expensive, and they can just say that. They don't have to prove it. They could just say it and charge an extra 50 cents.
Well, no, but that's what I'm talking about with like it's that little sell thing, which is like why the best way to do it is to go to like a local farmers market and like buy from your local farmers. It's also less likely to be crazy inflated prices.
Yeah, I mean better in literally every respect.
Every single one. We need community.
Community. And you get better eggs out of it.
Yeah. I have an interesting thing about eggs in that I so badly want to like them. They look amazing. They like make my mouth water. I want so badly to like them, but I don't like the eggy taste. And so if it's like an omelet that has like a lot of cheese and veggies in it where it doesn't taste like the egg, I'm like, that's wonderful. Holy shit.
I just had an omelet this weekend. It was very, very good.
But if it's like just a fried egg, it looks great. Put that on a sandwich. Oh my god, that's a beautiful photo that you've just posted on Instagram. But I don't like it. And I'm so sad about it.
That is really sad because
I really want to like them. Yeah. So I'm on a journey right now. What I've learned is that quail eggs, actually great. They're a lot like richer. So it's less of the eggy taste. But yeah, I'm on a journey to like eggs because they look wonderful and I really want to like them because they're a great source of protein. And as a vegetarian, that's few and far between for me. So
my daily peanut butter intake is not.
Yep.
My daily peanut butter intake is 0.
For the best.
Yeah. Forbidden protein for you.
I did find out. I don't think I'm allergic to shrimp anymore, and I've been trying it. It's been pretty good.
Wait, okay, sorry. I need context. Were you just wanting to die? Were you like, I'm just gonna
Ryan was feeling just fine, and he decided to drive him.
I can't do it anymore. Started to have some shrimp.
Gonna have some shrimp tonight. Like, what prompted that?
Well, I went to like an allergist.
Okay, that's the good way to do it.
Like back in February, and they did like the pinprick test, which I hear is like it's pretty good. It's got a 50-50 shot of like telling you if you're allergic to something. Like it will definitely tell you that you're allergic to something. It just might also tell you that you're allergic to stuff that you aren't.
Yeah.
And I think that happened to me because it said the thing I was most allergic to was tomatoes. And it's like, well, that's not right. I have tomatoes.
You've said that a lot. Yeah.
Every single day. But then shrimp was on there, and shrimp was like minorly. And I've had shrimp before and like broken out before, but I was also like, maybe they use peanut oil. So I
Sure.
was like,
Oh,
you know what?
yeah.
Sure, I'll try it. I'm at home. Worst
Uh,
case scenario, I use my EpiPen.
sure, I
Oh,
guess.
yeah,
And I
controlled
did it, and I was
environment.
like, this is pretty good.
Okay, and it was fine.
Something.
Yeah, I tried Jimmy Buffett's sunset shrimp. It's
Well,
delicious.
that's delightful. That's so
Yeah.
exciting. Yeah. Is it like just shrimp or was it like shellfish in general that you were worried
I
about?
think all shellfish I'm fine with now, which is great. So that's cool.
That's so fun.
Especially
That's a whole
helpful since
new
I'm
like
going to Japan.
yeah,
Yeah,
that'll be
big.
great.
Yeah. I
That's
can't wait to go
huge.
to Japan and try other cultures' foods there.
Yeah.
We have a hotel there, and there's like all around the hotel. There's like no like Japanese restaurants. There's like an
That's so
Indian
funny.
restaurant, a Mexican restaurant, an American restaurant. And I was like, I want to try all these places.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like what's the perception there?
Yeah,
That's really funny. Um, but yeah, very exciting.
yeah.
Shrimp
Um,
is so good too. It's one of those things that keeps me being a pescatarian. I like fish, but I could probably take or leave most of it. Shrimp's just so delicious.
You ever had much salmon?
Yeah,
Okay.
I
The
like
chicken of the
fish.
sea.
It's just I wouldn't.
how about
I
that?
would miss it, but I wouldn't be like devastated to lose it if I
Yeah,
decided to go just normal vegetarian. But shrimp would be hard.
yeah.
Yeah.
I would figure it
Um,
out if I was
no one's
given
gonna make you do anything.
given a very compelling reason to should. I know like foreign fish and it's not the best, so
It's a whole like individual consumer, like you're fine. Like truly, if everyone just like
yeah.
doesn't eat meat on Mondays, like the impact on the world would be like crazy. It's like big corporations that are doing most of the damage. So for me, I'm never like, oh, people eat meat, they hate the environment. Like fuck that. That's not true.
Well,
People eat meat because it's a great source of like food and protein, and people like the taste of it. Um, like I don't know.
That
People
and
get
then
weird
like
about like ethics with veganism.
even if people don't, they're still gonna produce a lot. So it's like
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. And
absolutely.
it's
like
interesting.
ethics and capitalism are
Yeah,
difficult. It's like,
Yeah,
oh, you don't want to support this thing? Well, you can't really support anything.
yeah.
yeah. I've read an interesting article about like the rise of the chicken sandwich and how like everyone's doing chicken sandwiches, and there's a
Mhm.
reason for that because back in like 2021 there was that like big snowstorm that like hit Texas and that like really messed with them and that killed like 75% of chickens in America. It killed like a
Sure.
ton of chickens. So then chicken there was like a shortage for like 6 months, but then chicken is really easy to produce. So
Yeah.
then they produced a ton of it and they had a lot of excess. So then they started going to these restaurants and are like, hey, look, you can make a chicken sandwich.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
that's why like everywhere is now like offering chicken sandwiches and people really like them because they're trying to sell it off. And so it's like
Yeah.
even if people like didn't like get meat on one day, they would still find a way to
To
like
like make
do
up
it.
the
Yeah.
loss. Yeah. Like I think like the corporation part is like I think if like you're worried about your like carbon footprint in a way that makes you like feel guilty about eating certain foods, um, do a meatless day once a week. You're fine. Like you're doing great, sweetie. Like you don't
Also,
need to worry about it.
although meat has nutrients and stuff you need, you should not be eating it every single day. It's not
No, especially
that
not red
bad for
meat.
you.
Yeah. Um, red meat
Wow.
especially is like super, super bad for your heart. Like you should be eating it like very carefully. Like obviously have it. I don't care.
I think it
Um,
depends on what
but
kind of
like
meat.
fair enough. But like also being very familiar with heart disease myself and having talked to a lot of cardiologists in my life, there was one after my dad's heart attack that was like, how often do you eat red meat? And he was like, all the time. I'm a red blooded American. And
The red on the
the
flag is for meat.
yeah, and the doctor was like twice a year. Um, so it's something to like talk with your doctor about, not
Yeah.
me. But like just listen to your body and don't kill it. It's stupid. Is I
It
don't
just
know.
depends. I know like I know a lot about like cholesterol and stuff. It's like some red
Mhm.
meats can help play into that. Some can like help prevent that, depending on
Yeah.
like um sort of what's the makeup is, and then also how you prepare and cook it also plays into
Also
that.
huge.
So
Yeah, definitely. There's nuance to all of it. But yeah. Also, I guess like the big thing is if you're just eating meat, like eat your veggies. And y'all need to eat your fruits. That's a whole other rant that we had a few episodes back. But
I have to update on that. I've been having bananas for breakfast now. It's been pretty
and
good.
do you feel great? Do you feel like a new man?
Not really. I mean, it just feels the same. I don't know.
I feel when I eat fruit more frequently, I don't notice any difference in health.
Fair enough.
I don't know. I mean, I thought about like because I used to have like muffins for breakfast, but like the bananas are technically cheaper, and also free grocery store hack. If you go to the self checkout line and you forget to check out the bananas, they're free.
So they're a lot cheaper than the
Yeah.
The podcast is legally obligated to inform you that that is stealing, and you cannot do that.
The podcast is legally informed to tell you that was a joke. He's just a little guy.
All your produce
just
can be marked
teasing.
as an onion.
Your Honor, my client's literally innocent.
If they can't pay someone to check me out, I can't pay for my vegetables.
Your Honor, I beg you not to listen to this part of the episode.
Interesting thing you bring up about, maybe we talked about this before, but self-checkout versus person checkout. I want self-checkout every single day of the week. I do not want to interact with the person. I want to bag my own items, scan my own items. I love self-checkout. That's what I want, preferred always.
Yeah, I like it unless there's a huge line and there's like no one in the person's line. I like whatever is faster, which usually is self-checkout, sure. But if there's like no one in someone's line, I'll be like, hey, I want these like 3 things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, did you guys see?
Wait for the self-checkout to open.
Crazy.
It's usually pretty quick anyways.
Yeah.
I'm never waiting for more than like a minute or two.
Do you guys see the drama with Target's self-checkout thing?
No.
They're like gonna close self-checkout during certain parts of the day because of people stealing from self-checkout.
Oh.
And so they're gonna close it during certain parts of the day, but they're not hiring more cashiers.
Yeah.
So effectively they're going from their like 10 open self-checkouts to like 2 lanes.
That is the other part of even if the self-checkout is busy, the other part that's difficult is there's no real person lines open. Like there'll be 1 or 2, and so those are usually busy too. Like I prefer self-checkout 100% all the way.
Sure.
But there's never any real person lines open anyways, even if I wanted to.
Yeah. So they're gonna close, which I think is silly. A lot of people have like theories on that if they want to like the conspiracy theory about Target is that they want to make the in-person shopping experience so bad that people only do their like drive up or like online shopping things to effectively fire a bunch of people. Because all you would need is like
collect the item.
Yeah. And bring it out kind of thing. I don't know.
That seems too. That seems way too.
It seems really conspiracy.
Target's whole business model is like the aesthetic of it. Some people go to Target just to walk around
and get like lost and like, oh, I came in here for one thing, I ended up with 20.
That's the whole aesthetic is like it's expensive because poor people don't shop there. That's their aesthetic. Like, and like, oh, it's red and white, it looks so pretty, and they have a nice little displays. Like, I feel like it'd be weird to be like, oh, here's what everyone loves about Target, how expensive it is. So you get to sit in your car, get it delivered. I don't know. That just doesn't make much sense to me.
Yeah, I agree.
And then there was also a thing about like Walmart wanting to like start subscriptions.
Everybody wants to do subscriptions. Every single source imaginable is trying to figure out how to get
what would a subscription to Walmart be?
I think
is what I'm trying to figure out.
I think
everybody wants to do it.
I know a lot of grocery stores are like looking at ways to make more money, and so self-checkout is one of those ways because like they expect like everyone to steal like about like $7 worth of stuff that's like in the model. But if everyone steals $7 worth of product, that's still cheaper than like an employee because like theft and loss of product they can account for and they can write that off versus an employee they are paying and they don't. That doesn't necessarily affect their taxes always. And it also depends state to state. Um, so it's just an interesting subversion. I know Amazon, they've got their grocery stores, and if you have Amazon Prime, you get like 10 to 15% off depending on the week sometimes. Depends on the store. And so it's like the Amazon stores are very expensive unless you have the membership, in which case they're cheaper than the other stores, which doesn't make sense, but yeah.
I mean, I suppose Costco's bad. Costco is
Yeah.
everywhere else. You buy in bulk, but you have to have a membership to shop there.
I think what's interesting too is like you have your Costco's and your Sam's Club, in which they are mainly like bulk stores, versus the Amazon, which is just a grocery store.
Like a normal thing.
Yeah.
I just looked it up. The Walmart Plus membership includes benefits such as free delivery from your store, member prices on fuel at select stations, use of mobile scan and go, which enables you to scan items as you shop, thus streamlining your checkout process. And they're working on adding more exciting perks.
Oh, I was like, yeah, that's not very much.
Yeah.
Scan and go is probably their imitation of Amazon's self checkout.
Yeah, it seems
or
like it.
I'm gonna guess, but
Although Giant had that like years ago.
oh really?
Yeah, like I used to work at a Giant, and that was like a thing we had when I worked there in 2018.
I'll be honest, I don't understand the like getting groceries delivered.
Neither do I.
Because like I feel like it's way more expensive. I know for some people it's like easier, but it's like everyone I know that does it is like, oh yeah, I was annoyed because like I paid this person and then they didn't like get like two of these things I wanted. Versus like if you go, then you're like you'll always get, maybe you'll always forget something, but like if you go at the list, you'll make sure you get stuff. Or if the thing you want isn't there, you can like choose what you want easier. I don't know. I think going to the store is fun. Some people
I enjoy it.
I enjoy
Margo,
it.
I know you do order or used to order groceries.
Yeah, we did it during the pandemic, which I think was the move.
But I agree with everything Ryan said. I like going to the grocery store. I don't know. I'll like find new food items that I didn't know I wanted.
Yeah.
That's how I often get like weird snack stuff. I never would have known to order that if I was doing it online. And like things that I'll remember that I need that I won't if I'm just gonna order. But because I'm seeing the food, I'm like, oh right, I did need this for the meal or whatever.
I hate grocery stores, like with an irrational amount of hatred. Like they're so annoying to me. People get on my nerves so easily in a grocery store where like if we just walked outside of the like square footage of the grocery store, I would think they were like perfectly fine people. But inside the square footage of the grocery store, I'm like, I hate you. And it's
I
like,
do. I don't know if this would. I feel like people are very. This is actually a broader critique of society. I feel like people are very unaware of everyone else around them and how their actions affect other people. And the grocery stores are probably one of the places you see it most, although you see it all the time. But people leaving their carts in the aisles, just like loitering in the middle of aisles. It's like, okay, everyone else is shopping too.
and I'm
You need to
sitting
be
there like
aware of
trying
people
to
around you.
push my cart into the like
I'm like in the
thing,
edge.
like as
I
close
do.
as possible.
I have
Like,
where like I lift it up so I can like better
I'll do that
maneuver
too.
it around people.
Just to be out of people's way because I like don't want to be a bother kind of thing.
Yeah.
But like there's like my inevitable hatred of children, whereas like I feel like whenever I go, there's always like kids who at this point, I feel like this wasn't always the case. Again, worked in a grocery store, like very familiar with grocery store vibes. I like at the current one that we go to, these kids will just run like it's a little playground kind of thing. They will just run through the aisles completely unsupervised. And I'm like, get away from me. Like it's one thing if like a kid is like crying and like sitting in there like near their mom or whatever and like, you know, walking along doing whatever, being noisy. Like, okay, you can't control the volume of your kid. I get that. Like that is so okay. They're loud little things. I get it. But the like running around where like I don't know where your parent is, like it freaks me out. I don't like it. I don't
I
want
mean,
them, like,
if they seem like they're completely unsupervised, I see that annoying. I think the running can be cute when they're like running down the aisle and they see a snack and they're like, Mom, can I have this thing? I think that's adorable.
I see what you're saying.
And then the mom must be like, no. Or like begrudgingly, like, fine.
Yeah.
I think that's really funny.
Sure, stuff like that, wholesome, I get it. But, like, not the, like, running around like little demons and, like, "I don't know where your mother is," kinda thing, or, like, father, if he's, like, a good dad. I don't know where he is either. Like, I don't it's tough. Um, but I also don't like children, so that's an
Yeah.
added. Um,
I
um,
this is not related to grocery stores, but it's something
okay.
I see at grocery stores all the time where uh, gr- there is someone that just stays in the car and is on and they're just sitting there while their partner is shopping. And
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
don't understand why you would do
I
that.
think that's
If you're
so
not
mean.
gonna go shopping, don't
Why'd you
go
even
with.
come?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Why did you come to just sit in the car in the parking lot? That's
no.
insane to me.
Weird behavior. Like, for me, I
It's
don't
not
like
gender
going
specific either. I see it on both
no.
sides.
Yeah. Definitely have seen that too. I think it's weird. I think there's exceptions, I guess, for, like, disability or, like, limited mobility in general, but again, that comes to the question of, like, well, why'd you come with?
But why'd you come with then?
Yeah.
Like, I could see there being a legitimate reason why you don't wanna go in the store.
Mhm.
Then don't come with. There's no
Yeah.
reason for you to do that.
'Cause also, in my experience seeing that, it's, like, full-blown groceries. It's not like they went in to grab a thing, which I would also
No, yeah,
understand.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
full carts, like, they come back to the car and they're unloading all
Mhm.
these things in the back, and the person that didn't go in is still not helping them unload the groceries into the car.
Just sitting,
They're just
waiting
sitting there. It's like, why did
like a
you
like
come at
teenager.
why?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just it's just insane to me. It's 0 effort to just go into the store too,
Yeah.
Yeah.
if you're gonna come with. Like, it's not and groceries because there's, like, the thing of, like, oh, guys find a couch in, like, a clothing store to hang out while their significant other is shopping for something. It's like, okay, maybe there's a time where you're shopping for something that is not interesting to you and has no you don't feel like you give an opinion on, which is debatable. But whatever. That's not the case for groceries.
No,
This
it's
is something that
practical.
matters to you. You're going to eat this stuff. So why do you not want to be involved in
And
there's not it doesn't have this like boring nature of it because all this
yeah.
stuff is relevant to you too.
Or
It's not
even
hard
if it
too. It's
does,
quick. It just like
yeah,
And
it
it's really
doesn't take
quick.
any more than
I
like
I'm in
10,
the
15
grocery
minutes.
yeah,
but
yeah,
also as a
21
grocery store hater, I would still go in with the people that I go to the grocery store with. Like, I'm never gonna be like, "Okay, your turn, bye-bye," kinda thing. Like, I don't know. It's not that much of an inconvenience throughout the day that it is, like, this impossible task. I don't know.
Here's that inconvenience you. Why did you go?
Yeah, why'd you go?
I
That's
feel
the
like the
biggest thing to me.
longest part is the
Why did
commute
you go?
sometimes for me.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Same here. But no, I, like we'll either do, like, going in and going through or, like, drive up at this point kinda thing. Um, which drive up I'm such a big fan of. I love it. Um, way less, uh, room for error than the full-blown delivery, in my opinion, because it's, like delivery is usually, like, Instacart people who are, like, essentially, like, Uber Eats type employees, right? Whereas if you do drive up, it's usually an employee of the grocery store who, like, knows where everything is.
Mhm.
And having done the job myself, it is so much better than, like, being a cashier because 'cause you're like, I can just go on, like, a little mission where I
I
just
would
go
really I would really enjoy it. I think
like,
that would
it's
be fantastic.
it's a good, easy, like, paycheck at that point because 'cause you're not like, that and stalking were, like, my 2 favorite things to do.
Yes, both those
Um,
seem very fun.
mhm, but yeah, I don't
It
know.
is trying to find something you know you want in a grocery store is the worst part. Or like, okay, I need this item. What logically would be the correct place to put it in a
Yeah.
because you're like, it's not the sign is not going to say here's where pickles are,
Yeah,
but where am I going to find those, and what
Yeah.
yeah.
would be the place to put them in?
I had trouble finding honey the other day.
Yeah, that's another good example.
For me, I'm like, I
Red wine
can
vinegar.
maneuver a
Fine.
giant.
Mm.
A giant, I've got down. Doesn't matter where, I've got it. They're all the same. But as soon as it comes to any other grocery store, and it's the same issue. I'm just like, oh,
Yeah.
good
Yeah,
lord.
and I rant those in my many grocery store rants. But as soon as I become accustomed to where everything is, we change it.
Oh man. Yeah.
I'm just waiting for that bathroom Jewel I go to now. Because I'm starting to be like, okay, I know what's in what aisles, what kind of logic your store is running on. I'm just waiting for them to be like, psych, we're altering it all.
Yeah. I used to shop at Jewel, but I've been shopping at Meijer because it's cheaper
Yeah.
and it's much bigger for some reason. So
we've
Yeah,
been
it's
on a
like
big
it's like Meijer sells more than groceries, doesn't it? It's like
yeah,
a
it's not like
Walmart
a
or Target.
Walmart, honestly.
Mhm.
But their grocery section's not too bad.
well, yeah.
I didn't realize there were Meijers around here. I know they're like a Michigan thing.
I didn't realize that. There's like one by me, and it's like I don't think that many people go to it. I was like, oh, this is really nice. I like go on Sundays. It's super big. You can get like 3 carts down an aisle. I was like, this is lovely.
That is nice. Yeah. Fair. I had a whole other plan for today's episode. That
Can we do it in 20 minutes?
Yeah.
we can do like a shortened version.
Or we can save
Unless
it
you
for
want to
another
save
one.
it, yeah.
That's fine. I'll develop a better version of it for a future episode, but we'll do a little teaser for now.
Jeez.
Yeah. I have gathered a whole big list of stereotypes about each and every one of our star signs. And I wanted to see like who we thought which one fit best.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I've been on a big astrology kick. I think it's fun. I think it's silly, not in a like here's this thing way, but in a it's interesting how this thing fits into our culture way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Because I think it's like this is probably going to be saved for the other episode as far as this rant, but I think it's like getting more and more closely aligned with religion as far as how the public reacts to it. Like just general perceptions of these things. And I think it's fascinating. I'm so intrigued. Particularly like how people react to um, astrology based on gender, right? So like men versus women reacting to astrology, and men versus women who are atheists reacting to Christianity. I think there's like a huge similarity, and I think it's fascinating.
Probably right there.
But yeah. All right. Anyway, okay. Someone has drama. Follow them.
Capricorn.
Out of Aries, Sagittarius, and Libra.
Thank God it's
Sorry.
multiple choice because I don't know all of them. Are we guessing which sign it is, or guessing which
Libratarius. Which one? Libra?
Libra? Or we're making new signs here.
Yeah, Libratarius. That's kind of fun. I think that's what Adam wants to be, right?
Libratarius.
Like a combination.
I don't know. Well, yeah, a combination of something. I don't. We did the astrology thing way back when. I don't
What are
remember
the
what I
Libras?
kept saying.
Okay. Well, here I'll switch my idea for it. Of just talking about the different ones. But Libras are indecisive, go bad at decisions.
Oh, hey.
Guilty. People pleasers.
Oh, same.
Um, they are all about like balance, but sometimes to a fault. In the sense of like, do you guys watch The Good Place?
Yeah.
You're cheaty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gotta be a Libra as far as like getting like standstill by like having to make a decision for like what is morally good, what is morally right kind of thing. Like to the point where a lack of decision becomes a decision and then it's a bad one. That's a thing.
What months are the Libras?
Oh, October.
Ah.
Like into I think I think it's either in September or beginning of November. But
Okay.
maybe October. I don't know. Um, they typically, so this is the interesting thing, right? The drama follows was Aries, which is you, Ryan.
Oh, sweet.
Um,
What do I do?
no, it's just that oh, okay. Sometimes you might try to stir the pot.
Okay.
But um, like it's in your mind rarely ever your fault that you've stirred the pot.
Valid.
Um,
Okay.
but I have a theory about this as far as like there's obviously overlap and like generalizations and all of these. But I think we've like lined up really great little combo between the three of us with these things because I think they go hand in hand. I'll get into that. I don't know. Sagittarius, there's Adam. Right?
Nice.
Yeah.
Congrats.
I was like a little unsure, but didn't want to re-listen to the episode. Um, okay. Says lively, passionate, more philosophical. Um, but like this is where I think Adam's not a Sagittarius, like at all. I think someone's lying on his birth certificate. In that it says like they love to feel free and resist rules, regulations, constraints, and schedules. And that is like
Oh
not
boy,
Adam.
not me. Big rule follower over here.
like,
Big rule
like
follower. A
Adam's
daily
just
organized person with who likes set schedules.
The kind
I
of
can be
people
both
stealing
though,
the
but
market.
that's what literally I was thinking. I was like Adam's face when Ryan was saying the like banana thing. I was like, that's not him.
Allegedly.
I really also want to be
Allegedly.
like, hey, people listening, we're not endorsing theft.
Oh my god.
No position on
But it says
people
like
who may or may not be doing such activities.
it says like sports mentality, like competitive mentality, which like you can get competitive, I'm sure.
Yeah, I don't like always
But, like,
joking competitive.
right.
I'm never truly
Um,
competitive. I remember in like playing high school support sports and being like, this sucks. People are way too competitive. I do not care in the slightest whether we win or lose.
very fair.
And that's kind of a lot of it. I'm competitive for the bit.
What's cool is that you guys are both fire signs. So this is like where it gets into yeah, absolutely. So you're both fire signs. Which means that like the like passionate, motivated thing, Ryan, also applies to you. What's cool for Ryan is that that then leans more into being like a confident leader, which I very much see. Like that's huge. You have literally like a degree in that, right? Like
Yeah.
yeah,
Management leadership.
yeah. Um, you get frustrated by exhaustive details and unnecessary nuances. Um, I don't know if that rings true to you.
Sure.
Sure. Okay. Um, uncomplicated and direct in your approach, which I guess is the same thing as saying you stir the pot, but by being like blunt.
They're all
Um,
sort of vague enough where it's like, ah, yes, get annoyed with like incompetence or little things that annoy you. Where it's like, yeah, everyone sort of is.
see, but that's like interesting
People
because
don't
it's
like
like,
it, or it's like it'll be something where it's like, ah, they don't like when other people are loud or boisterous, and it's like, yeah, I think everyone's sort of that way.
but yours says like you get frustrated by exhaustive details, and like for me, I need them. I love them. I get annoyed with a lack of exhaustive details. Like I want every little bit. Um,
But it's
yeah,
also vague on what are exhaustive details. Like I like when
that's
I'm
true.
given a task and it's all laid out, but I
Sure.
don't like when it's like you're given something very simple to do and someone like over explains it
Like
or
micromanaging.
mansplains, as to say, as the kids say.
No one likes a mansplainer.
Where it's like vague enough where it's like, oh, it could apply to this, but doesn't necessarily apply to this.
Fair. Build community with cheerful disposition.
Heck yeah,
I would say.
cool, sure.
Yeah. Um,
I'll build the next Whoville.
okay, wait, red flags for all of us.
Okay.
This is another reason I think Adam's not a Sagittarius. All of these are like me saying I believe in astrology for Ryan and I and not for Adam. Um,
2 out of
um
3.
yeah, not bad.
Not bad, but not
But
great for a belief system.
it says that you have a fear of commitment. which I don't think is true. Shy
Mm,
away from serious discussions about the future. Also, don't think that's true. I
really?
feel like, yeah.
Thanks. I mean, I don't know if I'm necessarily like rushing into those things, but I wouldn't say I fear them.
Mhm. But yeah, I was just like, well, that doesn't seem right. Um, Rare Sagittarius, or like stuff that is like rare or to them. I don't know what this means. It just says rare about Sagittarius. Um, Curious and wanting to gain knowledge, which, like, yeah, that
Yeah,
is the first thing for
absolutely.
Sagittarius that it's like totally.
Yep, absolutely
I
fair.
don't know. I don't know.
See, but that's how they get you. They're
Yeah.
vague
I
enough,
know.
and then they have a diverse enough spread to be like, well, that one doesn't really fit, but that one
But that one,
does.
Yeah.
And
but
then
it's
they'll
like,
be true for every.
And it's all just
I don't
very
know.
like common shared emotions.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
I think
tons of
that's
people are curious and love learning new things. That's a really common trait.
yeah, fair enough. For Libra, a sociable nature, which I don't necessarily agree with. I do like people, but I get nervous around them. Um, uh, peacemakers and diplomats. I do think that's why I would hate politics, is that it would be like, couldn't we all just get along? Couldn't we all just be a little nicer? um, which I don't think would work. So, um, and then um, let's see, bad things, red flags about Libras, um, is that we're apparently very flirty, which I have been told, but I maintain it's because I'm from the South. And I think people are just nicer. Um, like, I think there's a difference between niceness and politeness. And I think the South is very, like, nice. Like, we'll help you out. We won't necessarily like everyone, but help everyone out. I don't know. And then uh, hesitant and like scared of things, which I think goes hand in hand with indecisiveness. Um,
Yeah.
just yeah, sure. I don't know. I think Aries really works for Ryan. Also, Libras are an air sign, so
Nice.
get to remember that.
There's only one airbender in this group.
Yeah,
Okay,
two
let's
fire.
go.
Oh my god. Um, Avatar AU, where it's two firebending brothers. Oh man. So another thing, dislikes of Aries is like remaining idle. That's a thing. I felt was like, yeah, I could see Ryan being in a like, I gotta like do things kind of thing. Um, but it says that Aries is like the second rarest. Um, like fewer people, which doesn't sit right with me in that I think I know more Aries than any other sign.
Yeah, because Aries is based on birth months, and like
Yeah.
I don't know, 9 months before that is January, and like the
Yeah.
winter is like cuffing season, and so you have a lot of people that are born like March through June. You also have like a ton of like August and like September babies because that's like coordinating with like
Which gets to my second point. It
yeah.
says the most rare is Virgo, which is September. I think it's wrong.
Yeah, I feel like fall birthdays are very common.
I don't know. I mean, these are actually purple. Let me look.
Do it.
Birth
Yeah.
rates by month. I also feel like it's probably like pretty even. Like it's probably like they're all like around 112.
I will say friendship wise, we're all compatible with each other, so we can continue being friends.
Good. Good we passed that bar.
Brian, you fall into um a specific archetype of Aries because of your birth date. Um, Nothing else. Um, but it's that since you are um a like mid-April Aries, you fall into the intrepid artist category. These are the silliest, like the most joking, like wink to the camera type of Aries, as well as like prankster. And it says you're flirtatious too. I don't know how flirtatious you
Interesting.
feel you are, but it says you're really flirtatious. So
Very.
There you go.
So it looks
What'd
like
you learn?
just looking across the board, I found like one from the UK, and that one says April is the second least common, and that February is the least. And I wonder how they calculated their data, because
Yeah.
all the months with 30 or less days have like lower birth rates. So I feel like they didn't calculate it out correctly. And I've also found a bunch
Yeah.
of other graphs that are like, well, it just depends on the area. Because some areas, like April's super popular, some areas it's like in the mid, some it's like low, and it's like, well, I think it's probably all
Sure.
like even across the board.
That's fascinating. So I really need to do like an even bigger deep dive into astrology because it's interesting to me that like the days matter for like the Aries archetype, but every time I've looked up for like Libra and Sagittarius, it's more so um like what matters is the other planets for what defines your archetype of Sagittarius or Libra. I don't know. It's crazy, the world. But um yeah, I think it's just like this interesting little thing that I've been seeing like a lot of um like a lot more astrology stuff than I feel like I ever have. And I don't know if that's just me feeding the algorithm by like watching it. Um or what, but like probably
Probably.
somewhat. Um but like I don't know. I think it's interesting. I think it's weird. I think it's like there's this huge dismissal of it. Um and yet like acceptance of it in certain ways.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious about it. So stay tuned for more astrology on this podcast as far as like I wanted to see like genuinely if you guys are like reacting to it blind, which ones you align with most,
Okay.
you know?
Interesting.
I
That
like
would be
that
fun.
idea.
And see like what comes of it. Like are you actually a Sagittarius? Are you actually an Aries? Um yeah.
There's probably a better, well, yeah, it seems like a good test
Hmm.
than the other way. Because there is that problem with like, well, when you're given that these are the things to fit you, you're
Yeah.
gonna kind of already be tailoring them to you. Be like, yeah,
Hmm.
that kind of works.
I can see myself doing that kind of thing. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I'll come up with that. We'll make our own little like BuzzFeed quiz-esque thing to determine it. And if you guys aren't your current things, that'll be a whole new world to discover of like what is it? Who are you? Yeah. All right. What rain on house parades?
What a great question.
Yeah.
Such an unexpected turn.
Such a
So I'm still
not like
looking
this.
at the like birth rates and stuff, and it's just fascinating me because they have number of live births and number of deaths right next to each other.
Sure.
So we're sort of increasing each month.
Okay. On
January we
which?
increase a net of 11,000
Okay.
positive. So
11,000 more deaths
people,
or more people.
yeah, there's 30,000 births recorded in January of 2023 and only 289,000 deaths. Good numbers.
Sure.
I know like some
All right.
countries, I know South Korea recently said they had like a bit of time where they had more deaths than births in the country,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is interesting.
Fair.
That's what rained on my parade.
Is more deaths than births.
Yeah,
That's fair.
crazy.
Sad.
Unless you want to be like the Quakers.
Sure.
So the Quakers, you ever like wonder why the Quakers aren't around anymore?
No, because I lived in Pennsylvania.
Yeah. So they like a lot of them toward the end were like, well, maybe we like shouldn't be on this earth. Not like in a
Oh,
suicidal way, but like of like, maybe it's like not great for us like procreate, like we're just like harming the land and everything. Sort of like around the Industrial Revolution area. And
yeah.
so they sort of stopped having kids and just sort of over time just
stopped.
went away. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Um, I think I don't know. I feel like a lot of people are like getting to the point where they're not having kids, not for religious reasons, but like I isn't that like a statistic of like fewer and fewer like millennial and Gen
Yeah,
Z are
I
like
know the US is having problems with declining birth rates where it's not
yeah
enough to be significant, but
no enough to talk about.
it's one of the things of and there's a bunch of reasons for it. Like one,
Mhm.
people can't own houses, and if people own houses, birth rates go up. That's just like one simple statistic.
Yeah
And then also like how much money people are making, which again sort of correlates with houses. If people have money, they
yeah
can buy a house. If they have a house, they'll have a kid.
yeah
And that's not always true. I mean, people can have kids without houses, and people can have a house and not have kids. It's just they look at these trends and can sort of plot it out that way.
yeah. I don't know.
Statistics are fun.
Yeah, they're fun to like analyze. I hate making them. I hate like making the graphs.
Oh, I love them.
Um, I
Pivot tables,
loved.
pivot charts. Oh, they're so fun.
Actually, yeah, you know what? That'll be my rain on my parade since I can't think of anything else. Today, I had some statistics that I put together for some case stuff I'm doing at work, and we had a presentation on statistics and a different thing, and they had all these beautiful graphs, and I'm like, wow, that looks great. You know what I should do is that, and I was like, I've never really messed with spreadsheets, but I know they have all that capability to like just turn out graphs and update themselves and everything. So I was like, I'll do that. Um, and I was taught spreadsheets. I don't know if most people were in school, but I was taught spreadsheets since either middle school or high school,
Mm-hmm.
and then never used it. So I don't remember any of it at all.
Sure.
And so it was all a learning process. And I was using Google Sheets. It might have been easier on Excel, but using Google Sheets and being like, all right, I am going to Google every facet of this.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, and it worked out. But there's a lot of like, man, this is
Yeah.
not as intuitive as I would believe it would be. Because I wasn't doing anything complicated. I was like, all right, I just have a chart, like a table of numbers. I'm not doing any calculations. I just need to put these numbers into a graph.
Mm-hmm.
And that was hard enough.
I had like
yeah.
a statistics class that I had to take as a prerequisite for then like political statistics, and like political statistics, fun, super fun. It was some stuff like that where it would be like we have to like then make the graphs and then like analyze them. But like statistics was like, oh god, I had to like do so much math. I don't want to be doing. So very fair.
One of the best part about statistics and numbers is you can like make an argument for it, but then you can also make a counter argument for it
Exactly.
with every single
Yeah.
set of numbers. You can be like, yeah, you say that, and I say the opposite with your numbers to
Mhm.
back it up. I don't know. I think what's interesting is like I feel like Word is a scam, like Microsoft Office, all of those.
Oh,
They're so
absolutely.
Yeah,
expensive, and
100%.
there's so
And
many
you can't
things
even
where it's
own
like,
it
why is
anymore.
it not better? It is like if you ever like look at the background code of it, it's a miracle those things really work. But I just love in Excel, like there's like the drag down feature, which depending on if you control click, it will like if you're counting like 1, 2, 3, it will keep like counting that, so you don't have to type them out individually. But then if it's a date, you don't control click. You just pull
Mm,
it down and then it will auto date. And if you control click on that one, then it will just copy the numbers. Versus the other ones, you have to control click for it to like actually have the numbers count. It's very annoying. It doesn't make any
yeah,
sense.
I
no.
I know this is a common criticism with Excel, but Excel and date is a nightmare. It'll either make things into dates that you don't want to be or
Yes.
refuse to recognize a date that you put in.
Or you put
Yeah,
in a format
So
of the
bad.
dates and it's like, no, I don't like that format. Do this
Yeah,
one.
here's a new format. Like, screw you, Excel. I don't want that format.
I did it for a reason. Ugh, yeah. Um,
I don't know why dates just like ruin
and they just
Excel's
don't.
functionality,
Yeah.
but it really does.
Another problem with it too, sometimes you'll put a date in and you'll like try to have it like chronologically, like by day, and it'll be like, oh, you want to go chronologically by year?
I was like, no, no, no.
Nope.
Good
You want to look at
try.
February 23rd, 2024 through 2068? Of course.
There's moments like that where I'm like, computers aren't that smart. Like, it's not what I mean, and you know it. Oh, God. I had a very artsy weekend.
Nice.
It was a good time. It was a busy time. Went to see uh a friend's or like friend of a friend's um like a live show that she was doing. Amazing. Beautiful. Great singer.
Nice.
She was recently on like NPR's Tiny Desk, but it was like at this like little tiny salsa club. It was great. It was wonderful. But it was like a very spur of the moment, like let's go out and do this thing kind of
Mhm.
decision. So that was a time. I made we started our like pottery journey at home. So I
Ooh,
made mug.
nice.
Um,
Those look awesome.
and then we also made like a little like dish
Oh,
kind of
cool.
thing. And so we're gonna take those to a kiln soon. Also came up with a D6
Oh, heck
pattern
yeah.
Oh,
for
very cool.
um, well cat toys for my craft fair coming up. So that's fun. And then I went to see the beaches, and I love the beaches. Great band. Um, very like just queer woman energy. That is hard to beat when it comes to rock music. Um, Great time, beautiful show. We went to the Howard Theater for it, um, which the first time there, and it was great because they had seats. Not like a seated theater as far as like in the house or anything, but they had like little booths around the edges. And as someone whose bones are very bad, it was really nice to be able to like sit for like the opener and then like stand for the actual show. Because again, bad bones. And then we ran into some very drunk men outside.
Mm.
But contrary to the connotation of who they were a delight. They were wonderful.
Good.
And yeah, just like it was just one of those little cute human moments of like trying to like find places together with strangers. And I love those. So I don't know, good weekend, tiring weekend. Oh, and then I went to the dentist and they didn't insult my teeth this time.
Good.
Nice.
I know. I was like, wow, I just like ranted about you. I didn't tell her that. But it was also like the quickest dentist visit I've ever had where she did the x-rays, went in, did the little cleaning, and she went, great teeth, very clean, bye-bye. And I went, okay,
Nice and
bye.
easy.
Yeah, worked out. Um, I don't know. None of those were really like rainy, but I couldn't think of anything, so I just rambled.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Um, Avatar was okay. It was mid. Um,
I enjoyed
uh,
it.
Adam liked it. Maybe you will too. I don't know. Go to the grocery store. Or don't. I guess. Um, Astrology is
And if you
interesting.
have really long and uh, in-depth analysis of media, make sure you don't record it so that no one gets
No one
to
else can
hear
hear.
it.
Record it and then immediately delete it.
I do think at some point we should just start like recording, like for the hell of it, and we'll add in intros later because
Yeah.
sometimes we have like better podcasts before we podcast. Oh man. Have a sunny Wednesday. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.